Welcome, gamers from around the globe. You've dropped into the best place for Game Pass news. That's right, you're at the Game Pass Tracker Show. This is episode 154, recorded live. Live, I tell you, Thursday, May 23rd. I'm Nick Metzger here with the best dang co-host a guy could ever have. He's beside me or around me, Mr. Sean Abbott. We're going to fill your brains with all this week's bits and bobs of Xbox, like Microsoft unveils a little bit of what they might be thinking about with Copilot. We'll talk about that because we talked about it last week, and we get an idea of what's going on with Call of Duty, maybe what the big thing is going to be, not maybe, but more than likely what the big thing is going to be with the showcase, and Sean's been playing Hellblade. Hell yeah! You better sit down, buckle up, because Game Pass Tracker Show is one crazy ride.
Hello and welcome everybody to this week's show, and welcome to your favorite Xbox Game Pass podcast, the Game Pass Tracker Show. You can find us on pretty much every social networking app that is out there. Everything is at GPT Gaming News. If you have any thoughts or any questions in the show, and normally at this point I'd be saying, hey, you can send us an email, but we have an open public Discord. You can follow that if you use the link that will be provided shortly in chat. It's also going to be on pretty much every podcast out. Every where you can find the podcast, there is going to be a link to this Discord. There's over 2,000 members in there at the moment. You can get in touch with myself. You can get in touch with Nick. You can get in touch with Alan Freely. All the other GPT members are in there at the moment, so you can get in there, you can chat with us, you can ask us questions, you can tell us what you think about the show, you can tell us what you think about Game Pass as a whole. It's just going to be an awesome little community that we are slowly building, and Nick's put it in the chat. Okay, that's awesome. We're going to slowly start building that. There's all kinds of stuff that you can modify the server to how you want. So if you want to see news and leaks and rumors and stuff like that, that pops up first. If you want to see different podcasts that drop that are all Xbox related, you can do that. There's all different kinds of videos. It's awesome. It's been very well managed. It's been very well built out. Thank you very much to Alan and how he's managed that. So yeah, go ahead, go check it. It's free. You can do it. Go and play. Have a good look. And if you are liking what you were hearing, and you don't want to use the Discord server and stuff like that, you can go to your podcasting app of choice. You can leave a review. You can talk to us there. We'll read them out. It's ace. And when you do stuff like when you leave a review, you leave a star, you leave a comment or anything like that, it always helps us with the algorithm, pops us up there, and gets us noticed by other people. So we continue to grow. We'll be able to make more crazy content for you guys that are listening. And wow, that feels like a big mouthful.
And that's a podcast, folks. Have a nice day.
Yeah. If you are interested in signing up to Xbox Game Pass, the Big Daddy itself, the one thing that we're going to be talking about for the whole entire show, you can do that. You can sign up to that via the link that I think Nick has just dropped. You're on fire. It's just dropped into the chat there. It's also in the description. It'll take you to the Xbox Game Pass website. Our special affiliate called Code follows you when you're using that link. We get a little bit of that. Which helps us grow, helps us fund a few things. We're at episode 154, so you never know, in another 46 episodes time, we could be lining up for a decent giveaway, which would be quite nice. But that's all done by you guys, by helping us out, by doing things like signing up to the links that we give. And I think in the future we are potentially looking at getting ourselves a Patreon, but that's a little bit in the future. So where am I at here? Wow. So you go sign up to Game Pass. Just go play it. Hellblade's out. Go sign yourself up. Play that. You can do it for 14 days, I think, with a free trial in some cases, or if you can pick up one somewhere, you can go and do it. Yeah, go play it. Xbox is amazing. And Game Pass. But do sign up. It's different levels. You can be PC Game Pass, you can be core, you can Game Pass Ultimate. The best deal is Game Pass Ultimate. But just go and play your own way. Use the code in the chat, in the description. Same thing every week. So yeah. And now I've made an absolute cow's ass of the intro.
Keep it up. You're doing good.
No.
We're going to the Game
No,
Pass
but that was-
headlines, folks. In the Game Pass
This is what
headlines.
this is what happens when we try to make small changes on the fly.
I was like, let's just do it. Let's just get there. We're going to make it happen. Hey, there's a game out. I don't know if anybody heard about it. Probably not. Nothing big, nothing too awesome. But we're going to be talking about it as a feature story. That's how unawesome it is. Hellblade 2 is out. That's right. Senua Saga. It's out on everything. Well, everywhere. XNS only, though. Available. It's a day one with Game Pass, as that is. The sequel to the award-winning Hellblade Senua's Sacrifice. Senua returns in a brutal journey of survival through the myth and torment of Viking Iceland. Intent on saving those who have fallen victim to the horrors of tyranny, Senua faces a battle of overcoming the darkness within and without. All right, and out today, man, I didn't get to this. Sean was playing the Hellblade, and I thought I'd play the fluffy Galacticare, but I didn't get to it. Galacticare is out everywhere, XNS only, May 23rd, available day one, because this is the day one with Game Pass week, which is always awesome. You are the director of Galacticare, an interstellar healthcare company, and quasi-volunteer savior of the galaxy. For cash, build hospitals and recruit staff to satisfy the whims of various aliens, species, and cure their bizarre illnesses. Save the literal galaxy in story mode, or head into Sandbox to design the hospital of your dreams. Also out today, Hauntai, or Haunty, but I'm going with Hauntai, out everywhere. This one's everywhere. May 23rd, available, wait for it, day one with Game Pass. Play as a brave yet naive little ghost, Hauntai, and set off on a quest guided by enigmatic Eternians. Possess, solve puzzles, and shape your future in this captivating adventure. The game's handcrafted art style blends line art and animation with a striking palette, creating a visually captivating experience. Coupled with a dynamic soundtrack, it enhances the immersive exploration of mysterious landscapes. That is all out this week. What is coming out next week, Sean?
Before I talk about what's coming out next week, what I like about the way we do this when we announce is that you always do the games that are out this week. I always do them what's coming out next week. So when I then struggle and trip over words and try to pronounce them and I don't understand how to pronounce them, I then get to laugh a week later when you do it.
I know. I was like, darn, he struggled with that Eternians last time. I know. You're totally right.
Yep. So games that are coming out next week. The first one being May 28th. If you want to become an all-staff art, you can do. It's furniture, arrangement, and relocation technician, by the way, not fast action response team or what comes out your ass. You can do this by playing Moving Out 2, which is coming May 28th to cloud, console, and PC. You can work solo with up to 3 friends, and I believe this is couch co-op as well, because the first one was you can slip into your uniform and help out the residents of Packmore and beyond to pack up and ship out. I think you played this with the kids.
Yeah, the first one. Yeah,
I did.
Mm-hmm.
The first one, yeah. And I can remember watching the video, and Noah was just throwing things out the window.
Mm-hmm. Yep, so. that's exactly right. That's how that happened. And
then May 30th, coming to cloud, console, and PC is Humanity. Become a Shiba Inu and help reconstruct humankind in the acclaimed action puzzle game Humanity. Drop commands to guide a mindless human horde to the goal through 90 increasingly challenging handcrafted story mode stages, and choose from thousands of user-made puzzles, expanding on the breadth of mechanics, or design your own and share it with the community. Sounds a little bit like Lemmings.
Mm-hmm.
Which is cool, because I quite like Lemmings. So,
it's been a long time.
That's May 30th. And then the other game that's coming May 30th, which is coming to cloud and PC and the Xbox Series X and S, which we're hearing more and more of, is Lords of the Fallen, which is a vast world awaits in an all-new dark fantasy action RPG. Lords of the Fallen, as one of the fabled Dark Crusaders, embark on this epic quest to overthrow Adir, the demon god. Learn more about how Lords of the Fallen goes rogue or roguelike with its recent Master of Fate update over on the Xbox Wire website. I haven't heard much about this game, but it seems very Elden Ring-ish in the graphic.
Yeah, I don't see any Dark Souls mention on there, though. I mean, it doesn't say it's going to be super hard, does it? Did I miss that?
I mean, what is it? Another Crab's Treasure. That didn't say it was going to be super hard, but you said there was you died plenty of times playing it.
Yeah,
so,
I've done a lot in that game. That. Anyways, we talk. That's another story. But you're right though. But you are right. It looks Elden Ring-esque for sure. Like that's 100% true. This is where I jump in with all the new games coming to Game Pass Core and new games announced for Game Pass. All right, Sean, what's leaving?
Well, it's the same stuff as last year. Last week. So leaving May 31st, Chippy A Colourful Tale, Farewell Pioneers, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, Pac-Man Museum Plush, Little Witch in the Woods, and Railway Empire 2. They're all leaving from everywhere, so it's cloud, PC, and console, and they're all leaving May 31st.
Darn it. I was supposed to play Chicory with Ariel, and I forgot. If only I had a podcast. Oh, it's getting down there now. Gosh, darn it. Cal, darn it. Okay, anyway, sorry. As I always say, if you're interested and you have a memory that's bigger than mine and you can remember that these games are leaving, even if you hear this every week like I do, you have until May 31st to beat them, which is what I'm hoping to do, or you can buy them as long as you get it done before the clock strikes midnight. Yeah, midnight on June 1st for 20% off. So they have to be in Game Pass still to get the 20% off. Once they're out of Game Pass, you're SOL, man. No, nothing for you. Reflection time. Sean, what are we playing here? Well, I know you're playing Hellblade. We're going to talk about that in a little bit. Anything past Hellblade that you're interested
in? I'd like to try Moving Out 2.
Yeah.
Just to see if they give any like ease of life changes from the first one, because I think as much as it was fun, like physics style game to play, it was clumsy in places. So I want to see if they've changed that. Humanity, I wouldn't mind giving a try because I really enjoyed Lemmings growing up. So I want to see how close to Lemmings like it has been. But Lord of the Fallen, I would probably give a little bit wide. But if I've got Hellblade, which is a big game by all accounts, I think I'm like 3 and a bit hours into that, and Fallout 4 on the go. So,
yeah, I'm into Moving Out. The rest I probably won't get to. I have a great quality of life solution for any dad playing Moving Out or Moving Out 2 coming out. This is like top tier quality of life solution. Play it without your kids. There you go, and that'll.
Play it with a responsible adult.
That's right. Just play it without your kids, and that is the biggest quality of life improvement you will find for that game. So you're welcome. You can thank me later.
Well, we say play with a responsible adult. I don't think you could play that game with me.
No, it's true. And I'm not gonna lie. Sometimes I would hit my kid with a couch just cause. I was like, you know what? I know he's down there, and I know I shouldn't do this, but. So it's true. No, the chaos is what makes that game just like Overcooked. That's one of those games where the chaos is what makes it what it is. But then at some point you hit this level with the chaos where you're like, I don't want to I just want to beat the game. Can we not? But what doesn't work is when not all the players hit that at the same time. Like when one person's like, I'm done with the chaos, and the others are still having fun. That's when it like all explodes. They're like, no, I'm done. Just stop and let's beat this. And the others are still like whacking each other with like pink flamingos from the yard. So it's fantastic. Not that that's ever happened. Anyways, those are the games, and they're great. And I really am excited for Moving Out for sure.
Yep. Obviously, just keep your eyes peeled on the GPT Gaming News X Space. We have lots of information that come out on the game. They drop little videos. Sometimes they obviously drop screenshots of the game and stuff like that. So go give it a try. Also, for any of the trailers and stuff like that, I think you keep a really good track on that when you haven't been too busy with life. for trailers and stuff like that coming to the YouTube channel as well. So
yeah, go on the YouTube channel. If it's dropping on Game Pass, it's out like that morning. I'm usually pretty good about that. There's some of the DLCs I don't get to, but usually if you want to see a trailer for Game Pass, you go to our YouTube and it'll be there. It'll there like 8 in the morning ET time. So there you go. Just in time for tea for Sean. What is that? I don't know. Is that? All right. So those are the Game Pass headlines. On to the X-Feed week. X-Feed is our top stories and news bulletins and our big feature story, which we'll get to in a little bit. Treyarch posts first Call of Duty Black Ops teaser. That's right, ahead of the Xbox Direct. And guess what logo showed up that tied right into the showcase? Yep, Call of Duty. That's definitely the Call of Duty logo. Are you excited for this, Sean?
For Black Ops, yes, I am. I think I have enjoyed every single Black Ops game that they have brought out. Treyarch do a really good job of not going over the top. Where when Infinity Ward and Activision get together, that's when people end up running across walls and double jumping and super sliding everywhere. When Treyarch get a hold of it, and they take it in turns. Like sometimes, I think Activision Ward does a year, then Treyarch does a year, and they can flip back and forth. Obviously, it gives them 24 months to make a game. So Treyarch will do this one, and then they'll take a 24-month hiatus while Activision Ward or Infinity Ward kind of do the other half. But Black Ops 2 is by far my favorite Call of Duty. Not only the storyline, but also the multiplayer was one of my favorite ones out of them all. So I'm quite excited for this. I believe you called it when we first mentioned the showcase with the redacted logo and stuff like that. So well done to you. I was well and truly hoping for a bit of Tom Clancy's The Division, but I'm equally as excited for this as I am that. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I like the stage that they've done with the Truth Lies, not what they call blindfolds.
Yeah, blindfolds. I was calling them bandanas. I knew that was wrong, and I was like, I can't think of what they actually are. Good job.
So, but yeah, I'm super excited for this. I think the whole Call of Duty and Xbox community are excited for this because we still have that rumor circling that it's going to be coming day one, which I think we'll get that answered in the showcase. I think they will turn around and be like, "Hey, so this is a massive trailer for the new Call of Duty game. Blah, blah, blah. It's coming out. It's got this, and this in it. We're going to be doing this. It's going to add this addition to Warzone, and this is going to happen in Warzone as well to align with Call of Duty Black Ops 6, and all that is available for our Game Pass users day and date."
Yep. So it's definitely. So we know it's in the showcase because Xbox has confirmed that it is the followed by game. So Xbox said, don't miss the Xbox Games Showcase, followed by Call of Duty Black Ops 6 Direct on Sunday, June 9th. So we know that's a thing. There are still two things kind of blacked out on that they are still keeping behind closed doors. One of them I'm thinking might be a date. There's no chance this is day and day. Like this is day one, right? Like they're not going to shadow drop this, right? Like
no, the Call of Duty is without fail always a November release.
Okay, all right. No, that goes to show. You did answer my question though. Also, not being a huge Call of Duty fan, this is the single player like campaign style version of of this game. Is that? But it has a multiplayer aspect.
So yeah, there'll be a complete campaign for it, and then the multiplayer will be obviously based on you'll get your whole search and destroy, capture the flag.
Okay.
That team deathmatch, but based on maps from within the game. Okay. And then what they'll do is that all the weapon classes and all the weapons that they use in the storyline and the multiplayer will then carry over into Warzone.
Okay. Now, do you remember where the last game was set? What the scene? I mean, obviously we're in America here. I'm not entirely sure where, but
no, I think it wasn't. I think it was America, but it was in a different year.
Okay.
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Seems like it might be a rebellion type thing. I don't know. Just guessing by the blindfolds on Mount Rushmore. But very interesting. So I think it's cool. I think the drip of I don't know if it's a drip, but like how they set us up like a month ago, and now they're giving us just a little bit more, but they still got some stuff blacked out, and we're I don't know, right around 17 days away.
Yeah, Call of Duty Black Ops 5 was Cold War.
Oh,
so
it was.
And that was in 2020. Wow.
Okay. 3 dogs. I don't know. There's just so much like I love like trying to just piece it together, even if I'm like not like super enthralled by the game. Just trying to piece it together. Like, okay, there's the Mount Rushmore with the blindfolds. There's the 3 dogs, which I'm guessing like that plays into something in the game. Like I just love trying to piece the little things together. But I'm excited to see how this all plays out. If this is not a Game Pass day and date, then Sarah Bond's got a lot of explaining to do from her interview a couple weeks ago, because it was made pretty clear that all Xbox games are day and date on Game Pass, and this is certainly a first party Xbox games, just to clarify, are day and date on Game Pass. So I would need to parse through her words if it came out that this was not on there. I guess we made this a news bulletin, and the only reason I did that is because we did kind of go over it a bunch, but because it goes right along with this, the rumor mill, friends, is still churning that there are changes, probably price changes coming down the pike due to Call of Duty being added, due to Call of Duty likely being added. All this is rumor. Can't say it enough. To Game Pass. So we talked about it. You know, I made it clear that I don't think price changes are horrible as long as they're not too egregious. I am a little perturbed that they're due to, according to the rumors, Call of Duty, but we'll have to wait and see if any of this is even true, because we don't know. So that's still going on.
I like I said last week, as long as it's not a ridiculous hike, I'm not going to be fussed, because you're getting a £70 or $70 game with that again. So,
yep.
And if other perks come with it as well, so like, you know, if we get early access to certain stuff and things like that because you're a Game Pass member with your increased price. It's like buying a game. It's like a game like when Forza Horizon came and we paid for the early access. It's only like that. So if they kind of do that, or they offer early access payments, I don't know. It's just, we'll see what happens when it comes, if it comes.
Would you pay for early access, Sean? $30. $30. Would you pay $30 for early access? And probably an extra skin or something, you know, random. They're going to give you extra perks, not just that.
I'd have to wait and look at like the date, because that tends to affect stuff. If it gets released in the middle of bad week, I ain't going to get to that until like the weekend after. So
that's fair. Makes total sense. There you go. Next, Microsoft Copilot AI could have a big effect on Xbox and PC games. Interesting story. We talked about this last week. We were trying to figure out how development was going to use AI, how that would work with development. Microsoft put out a little 30-second video that kind of showed the opposite of that. How it helps the player play the game. Very interesting. It's a gentleman's playing Minecraft. The Copilot can actually read the screen plus listen to him and all the stuff, and see, not just like read the words on the screen, but can see what he's doing. So he's like, "Hey, I need help making a sword, Copilot." And Copilot's like, "Hey, we see that you have wood." No, was it wood? No, stone. I think he had stone. I can't remember. Had something. And he's like, "You have what you need for the hilt. Now you need to go out and try to get wood or stone for the blade. Why don't we do that?" And so very interesting. So maybe Microsoft's probably looking on all aspects of it, but this was one Sean and I just didn't think about. Like we were all about the developing of a game and how that was going to help, how AI was going to help that, but not how it could help the player actually play the game. And so,
Yeah,
there you go.
I loved the little like the keynote of Copilot Plus. I absolutely loved it because if you can imagine, or the way I imagine it is like Logan absolutely loves playing Minecraft, and this is I'm only referencing Minecraft because it's used in the keynote.
Mm-hmm.
My dad knows very little about Minecraft, but like he wants to be able to learn how to play it. So then, like when Logan goes around and stuff like that, because my dad's a PC gamer now, he can like fire up Minecraft and say to Logan, "Hey, look, I can do this, and I've done this, and we can build this together," kind of thing. So he could use Copilot Plus in that sense of because it can read the screen and it can listen to what my dad's saying. He's like, "Hey, look, I want to be able to do this," and the Copilot kind of directs him. So we can say your crafting table's over there. So head over to the crafting table, press this button on your keyboard. That'll bring your inventory up. The items that you need to make this or to do this are such and such, and you can let's go find them together. And like as you're walking around it, if it starts giving you hints as well, like if you look over there, that's that and mine this will give you this. It's gonna change how people play games massively. It's gonna be like Jarvis. It's just going to help you. It's going to provide like Jarvis in Iron Man. It's just going to provide you vital information that you need to do something when you are either stuck or you just don't have a clue. Like I talk to parents on the school runs and stuff like that. They're like, I absolutely hate the fact that my kids want to play video games because I never did it as a kid. And like now I'm an adult, I just have absolutely zero idea of what I'm doing. It's like, this will fix that problem massively. And I think that's great. It's a great use of AI. AI absolutely scares the living daylights out of me, but at the same time, I'm in absolute awe at what it can do. So,
yeah. So, this was Copilot Plus PC. So it'll be interesting to see if this makes its way to Xbox consoles or something similar like that or whatever. I don't know, whatever's coming out of the gate that Sarah Bond's making leaps and bounds on. So I think that'll be interesting to see if it makes its way to Xbox, because the Copilot PC is great for PC Game Pass players. That'll be awesome when that rolls out. But I think Xbox affects a lot more of the listeners that we're talking to here.
Yeah, I mean, you made a really good point of like this ruins one thing, but also they could go ahead and like give it Cortana's voice and stuff like that as well. But you said like this ruins the like sitting next to somebody and kind of explaining to them and helping them because you know about the game. And you get that buddy system of, hey, yeah, you could we'll try this and do this, and if you do this, or let me show you how to do it. It kind of ruins that, but at the same time, I don't mind that's kind of eradicated slightly because then you haven't got somebody that's constantly trying to take the mouse out of your hand.
Yeah. I see what you're saying. I just miss even if you want to take it a step further, like when I was a kid, there was no internet. So, you had a buddy from like the next door that was sitting next to you kind of being your co-pilot. So it's interesting now, but even now it's like, we played Animal Crossing together, like during the pandemic, whatever that thing's called. I'm just trying to forget it for the rest of my life. Never happened. So it's like, and we found groups of people online. So like, even if it's not like a next door person, because not everybody has that, but it's like now, are like even the online forums going to suffer because it's like, well, I don't even need to go online anymore because I got Copilot built into my Xbox. So it's like, I don't know. Yeah, I just think you're missing something.
Yeah, I didn't think of it that way. That you can completely remove the social aspect of it. Because I loved that era. Like it was the one thing that got me through the whole pandemic was the fact that we were doing furniture swap parties, item swap parties, as well as like just chatting away while we were just doing whatever you were making football fields, and I was just making absolute tons of money on the turnip exchange.
You definitely were. Yeah, I don't know. I just wonder what happens with that, but that's fine. Like we'll burn that bridge when we cross it, and I think there's a lot of cool things here, and we'll have to see what happens. Take-Two CEO is highly confident in a fall 2025 release of GTA 6. I don't have much to say there. We just wanted to let you know that he thinks it's definitely coming out. He's very sure.
FYI to everybody that's listening, if that happens and it comes in fall 2025, I will not be playing anything other than GTA 6, probably for the next 36 months after that.
Wow, 36 months, people. All right, well,
I played
a dashboard.
I played GTA 5. Well, how many years has that been now? 10 years? Must be 10 years because Emily's 12.
And he literally quit playing on her 12th birthday. So there you go.
Somewhere around there. Yeah. I'd say I played it for about 8 years. And when the online started doing all the heists and stuff, I was playing it religiously for 3 to 4 hours a night, every night.
Yeah, I'm interested for GTA 6. I didn't get in on the GTA 5 hype, so I'm interested. I am interested to know if I'm just gonna live vicariously through you, or if I'm gonna if it's gonna suck me in. I'm not sure, but it very well could. So we'll see. But there you go. So there you go.
We've already covered the other news bulletin about the rumor mill.
Yeah, that's already taken care of.
We've ticked that box.
Sean, man, you do it. Hellblade 2 came out. I have not had any time to get to it, so you get us started here.
So I didn't play the first one.
I did do that.
Which you did do. And I wish I had because I wanted to know if the gameplay wise was slow to start. Because this one was. And I first started playing it and I was like, wow, that's it.
Is everything okay over there? You got Rex. Rex is talking. You go figure. Yeah, you need to go figure that out. Go figure that. Go figure Genes. So I played the first one. It was actually one of the second or third games that I played on Xbox, on the behest of a friend of ours, in the Dad's After Dark. So he was like, "Hey, you should try this game," and I was like, "I don't know, it looks creepy," but it is kind of creepy, but it didn't get me. It didn't. It wasn't too bad. But that game was slow. But when you broke into a fight, a real fight, all of a sudden, man, things got hairy quick, and you were trying to figure out what you had to do. And in the back of my head, there was always this thing of you only had so much life. I never died to the point to where you could just die, but that's the way. Every time you got killed, it you only had so many times you could get killed or something like that, as I remember it. And that was always that anxiety was always in the back of my head of I can't die too many times. I don't want to have to do this all over again. So, but no, I really like the first one, and I do want to give this one a try, and kind of be able to compare.
Now Rex has stopped trying to chime in on the podcast as well.
There you go.
I wish I'd have played the first one because I wanted to know how there must have been more of a tutorial in terms of when to evade and the pattern of how people attack, because that's what I was struggling with at first. You've got 4 different voices, because I was wearing my Astro A50s, so I the Dolby surround, so I had 4 different voices telling me to do different things. This guy trying to hack at me trying to learn the buttons, and it didn't feel very intuitive. So the first hour seemed really slow because she was injured from being washed up on the shore, so she wasn't moving very fast. And then obviously for drama effect, she's crawling through different things, and she ends up in a boat that's turned upside down, and she's getting washed around. And it felt like it was come on, I want to get into the game. I want to get into what people have felt with the first one. I want to feel that. And it took some time. I played it for about 3.5 hours. And it has taken some time to get to the point where I'm like, okay, this is getting more intense. The storyline's really gripping. Like, they have spent a lot of money and a lot of time to make you fully immersed in the world that she's in. So, like, once you're fully submersed and you've got the sound coming from all different directions, and you've kind of got an idea of what's then happening, and you've got more, that muscle memories come with the controls and when to do things, and kind of like how to spot like patterns in enemies and stuff like that. That all has kind of come to me now. So I don't feel as as meh about the game. I actually feel a bit more excited about playing the game. Which I'm glad I pushed for it, because I was at a point when we first talked about it earlier on today that I was kind of like, I might not carry on playing this game, but I went back to it. I've played 3.5 hours of it now. And yeah, it's very, very well made. You can tell they spent a lot of time and effort in, face tracing. I can't remember the actress's name now. It's gone like that. But to make her come alive, it's fantastic. The photo mode in this game is brilliant as well for what you can do. You can add additional light in to create dramatic shadows in places and stuff like that, and you can change the length of that lighting. You can change how bright it is, the color. You can add fillers, vinaigrettes. You can move things around. You can remove characters. You can and stuff like that. So if there's a bit of a dramatic scene, but you just want Sana herself, and you want to get rid of everybody else that's involved around, you can do that. That photo mode can be done at any point as well. So during a cutscene, if it's pretty gripping, you can just fire off the photo mode and have a look around and look at how great and how nice everything looks. The scenery is fantastic. I like there's a slight puzzle element to a couple of things. I like there's a bit of a collection style thing going on where there's points where you have to focus and you can kind of listen to stuff. I found some kind of weird tree hidden somewhere. I won't say where, because that might spoil it for people, but there's elements to the game which are pretty good. The combat is very basic in terms of you either dodge, you heavy attack, or you light attack, and you use a mirror to kind of pause time, but so you can attack quicker and things like that. That's very well done. The tutorials for those just seem to happen. It's not like it stops the game and says, do this and this. It kind of, you've got the voices in her head that are telling you when to do things to kind of guide you through the tutorial. Really, really, really decent way of doing things. It's got that God of War aspect where it feels like it's just constant. There's no stop and start to the game. So you are like always kind of in the third person with her, or camera pans around and she's doing different things in different cutscenes, but it never like stops loading screen next section. It's got that God of War feel to it, which I wanted to play it. I wanted to play God of War to get the feel for that game, so I'm really glad that I'm getting that from this.
So I did want to say one thing, because you had said this is a pretty big game. I mean, it's big in like people have been anticipating it, but you do realize it's actually a fairly short game, right? If you've played 3 hours, you're probably a little like a third to a half of the way through the game.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So I was interested. So I did go on how long to beat, because I haven't played it. But I mean, from playing Hellblade, I knew that one was about a 9-hour game, and this one is and that's the completionist. And this one is as well right around, for completionist, according to how long to beat, right around 8.5 hours. So you're very far into the game at this point, according to this. Like,
wow.
So just so you know.
Well, I need to, before we can say any more about it, I need to maybe leave it another week and let a few more people play it. Mm-hmm. But I've just got to a part in the game where it got interesting and weird. So.
Yeah. So, I mean, you can definitely, sit down, a couple more sessions, you have that thing knocked out, Sean. Be able to finish it up. That is the bummer. That was the bummer about that game for me, the first one. It was like, I was into it and I was like, I could play like again. Like, just give me like more. I wanted more. because it was really good. But
I mean, the scores that this is getting, where I'm on Metacritic now, is Metascore have given it 81, user score has given it 7.2. Gaming Age has given it an 80, Guardian's given it a 90, Impulse Gamer's given it a 90. So it's doing well.
Mm-hmm.
It's tracking well, which is good. Because I was worried with the recent cuts that if Ninja Theory didn't kind of hit the target with this game and it was going to go for the, kind of live up to the hype, if they could then suffer the same fate as, Tango Gameworks, Arcane Studios and stuff, and have some cuts done, because obviously they've gone and spent a lot of money on this game, and it's very apparent that there's a lot of money being gone into this game. I'd say there's probably as much money gone into this game as there is to actually make a decent, a decent movie. So they have to be bringing that back. They're going to have to rely on people buying the game, not just using Game Pass as a subscription to do it, as well as it bringing more people to the subscription service as well.
Yeah, so I will say, according to where are we at? According to Windows Central, I was trying to see who won Windows Central, but it doesn't say. Trusted sources say that the next game for the studio has already been greenlit, in addition to the previously revealed experimental game Project of Mara. So it sounds like they're comfy, but I will say that with Sarah's comments of like, hey, we don't know, each studio has its own, we set its own benchmarks and its changes, and that's kind of how the creative process works. You never, I mean, nobody's real comfy, I would imagine, in the Xbox era or in the Xbox world right now. Just I don't know how you could be with those kind of remarks of like, you don't have a solid benchmark, your benchmark moves, changes, it's unique, which can be good and can be bad. So, but I would say if they've greenlit, if this is true, if the sources are true, then it sounds like they're safe.
Yeah, and we're not saying things like benchmarks are moving and the overhead, the people that control the purse strings are kind of looking to cut the places and stuff like that. We're not saying that to be doom and gloom. It's happening across the board. It's not just Xbox. If you look at the stock scores for people, everything seems to be a little bit low at the moment. People seem to be worrying. The economy is still not fantastic, and I'm not going to say this. I'm currently finding it difficult to be drawn into a game and focus on it. I'm going back and playing old games that I used to love, and I just can't seem to get the focus. I don't know if it's a gaming slump that I'm in at the moment, or the fact that it's just coming around to summer and I'm wanting to be outside more and stuff like that. But when I'm scrolling through TikTok, there's a couple of people that are saying the same thing. They kind of they just can't seem to focus on it, and they have a lot more going off in real life that's kind of drawing them away from it. And I don't know if you're getting a lot of gamers that are feeling that way, if developers and publishers are kind of feeling that wave as well.
Yeah, so that's interesting. I don't know. I think, for me personally, I don't know where you're at, but for me personally, I can feel you. It's a summer thing for me. It's just, it gets dark. It's still light. It's like 8:30. It's still light. It's going to be light for another half an hour. So there's always something I could do outside. And so I'm always kind of pulled that way. And it's like I'd rather be outside because it's Michigan. And in 6 months, there's going to be a foot of snow and it's going to be cold and I'm going to be sad. So it's like you might as well enjoy it while it's here. So, yeah, all those things kind of are pushing me away from playing games. Not that I don't want to, but it's like, yeah, you're here. I'll just do that.
But this is why I find that summer seems to be my indies. Go and play the indie games that have dropped on Game Pass, like Little Gator Game and Big City Little Key. Go play those short games that, like, once the temperature's dropped on an evening and people are kind of winding down, you can just chill out. You're going to play a small indie game, which you know is going to be fun for kids to play as well as yourself. It's going to be not necessarily really long, but you know, you're going to get a lot out of it. So, and there's loads of those dropping on Game Pass all the time. So I named 2 there that have come out recently. So.
Yeah, they. But I mean, good news. I think you'll find Hellblade is not an indie, but it fits into the short part of what you just said. So I think you'll be able to.
I can't. The thing is with Hellblade, I don't think I can play it, and I definitely can't play in front of the kids.
Oh yeah, I mean, I could. Yeah, no, I couldn't. No.
And with how dark that game is as well, I found that out today. How dark that game is. I am playing it in like pitch black. I had to draw the curtains. I had to turn the lamp off. I had like it.
You mean literally dark? Like the screen is hard to see at times.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Just because it's such a, you know, everything happens at night because of how the current story is going. So everything happens at night. So it's a dark game. So any glare or anything like that, and it kind of ruined the feel of the game.
Yep. By the way, Ninja Theory says if you want to get 100% of this game, Sean's playing it the right way. You should be using headphones. So that's
because there's noises and stuff, and like the voices kind of draw you into a direction.
Do they use the left right? That's because that's what I kind of wonder. Yes. If it's like over here and then on the right and then over here and then
yeah.
I figured.
As you're walking along, the other Senuas are kind of like, don't stop here. Don't look over here. Here's not something interesting to look at. But then the other ear is like, but it is interesting to look at. You should look over here. It's good. And it's like, sometimes it's really frustrating, especially when you're trying to do combat and you're trying to like evade and parry and stuff like that. And they're like, no, don't do that. No, it's too fast. You need to be fast. And it's like, fucking leave me alone.
That's so good.
He's got a big axe and stuff like that. So yeah, I feel it. But yeah, and that's something else I want to say about the game really quickly, because the original Hellblade was used in Jaya's psychology class at college for the feeling of schizophrenia and people with mixed personality disorders and stuff like that. They've done the same with this, and what I can say is they have done that really well. That constant inner monologue and battle between so many different voices for one person, and they're dragging her from good to bad, telling her that she's weak and she's this and she's that and the other. It's like you get a feel for people who do struggle with that on their daily, and they've done a great job of that. So they have, but the production value of this game is massive. It's fantastic. It's definitely worth playing. Nice. For sure. So
very cool. So the other thing we wanted to touch on. So I did this. I saw an article from somebody who was like, they were basically talking about. They were talking about Hellblade 2's Open Critic score and saying, hey, you know, out of the games that Xbox has dropped, just not Game Pass, but Xbox, it sits firmly, or it sits cozy at number 10. Basically, so you know it's the 10th best scored game this year in Xbox, and I thought, you know what, I'm somewhat interested. I like these kind of things. I'm somewhat interested in how the scores. What are the top 10 Game Pass games in 2024? You know, they don't have to be like day and date games. Just top 10 that have dropped on Game Pass that you can play. Listen, let me be the first to say, if your game's not on this top 10 or it didn't score well on Open Critic, we're just having some fun here more than anything else. If you don't know, Open Critic is a website that takes all of the verified scores. So from the big journalist reviewers, you know, like I'm not going to get them all, but GameSpot and IGN and any of those bigger
Daily
ones.
Telegraph,
yeah,
Guardian.
Yeah, and they take the average of all their scores and they give that's the score that Open Critic gives it. So this isn't like Metacritic. It's actual like verified reviewers. They're just taking all their scores and putting them in. So top 10 games this year. Now, so they may not have come out this year, but they may not come out this year, but they came out on Game Pass this year. So because you're going to be like the first one, you're going to be like, what the heck? Resident Evil 2 takes top billing by actually quite a few points, 92.
Yep, well worth it. especially if that's the remake.
Mhm.
It's there.
And technically, yes, the remake is what's on Game Pass. I actually couldn't find Resident Evil 2 remake on OpenCritic, so I just took Resident Evil. Persona 3 Reload takes ties for second with 88, tied with Diablo 4. So there's your first party technically now. Tales of Arise is 87. And then this one is somewhat of a cheater, but it did come out this year with the next gen update. Fallout 4 ties at 87 with Tales of Arise.
Yeah, well worth going back and playing if you haven't.
Yeah.
The next gen update is really pretty.
So that's your top 5 so far. Number 6, 7, and 8 is a three-way tie with a score of 85. That is Control Ultimate Edition. Now here you go. I meant to look this game up. Deep Rock Galactic. Do you recognize this game at all? I do not either.
I don't recognize. I think that's been on the service for a while now. It can't be because you just mentioned it.
Yeah, I was going to say according to my list. And I'm never wrong, Sean.
23rd of April.
Yeah, 23rd of April. So Deep Rock Galactic and then Tomb Raider Definitive Edition is number, I don't know, tied for number 6, basically, I guess you'll say.
Yeah.
And then at 84 points, there for Bruce all day long, Star Wars Jedi Survivor comes in at 84. And then And then the top 10 is really a long tie, a tie of like 5 games that get 83. That'll be Assassin's Creed Valhalla, F123, Bloodstained Ritual of the Night, Little Gator Game made it on there, and Botany Manor. I thought that was pretty cool too. Speaking of 2 little indies, have you played Botany Manor yet, Sean?
I haven't got around to that one, no.
That's one you want to put on your summer indie list. You'll like that. Short. It's environmental puzzly. You'd really like it. You got to find the stuff in the mansion to help you like make these seeds grow. It's great. I enjoyed it. It was a good 5-hour romp probably or something like that.
Yeah. See, now I'm scrolling all the way down this as well, and like the lowest score on there is a 51. Yep.
51. What gets the 51, 50. Sean?
Those Who Remain gets the 51.
Okay, I'm not going to lie, Sean. I'm one of those people that'll stop for, and I'm going to say this, but I don't know if it is a train wreck. It's just what somebody gave it. That stops for the train wreck. I really want to play Those Who Remain to see if I agree with all these people who gave it a 5 out of 10 or a 51.
Yeah, but then I then start scrolling up and I'm seeing things like Blue, the video game, is never going to get a rave rating because it falls into that realm of like a Peppa Pig game, a Paw Patrol game, stuff like that. It's made for kids by adults, so it's never going to get the true thing. But I'm still going up, and I'm like SpongeBob SquarePants Battle for Bikini Bottom with a 69. That game was more fun than I think that score says it was. But then, what I'm really upset by is Little Kitty, Big City with a 76. That game is just really pretty, really nice to play, really easy, funny in places. It's very friendly, family friendly even. Nice little open world esque to it, as well as a bit of parkour and platforming and puzzling in places. It's just, I don't understand why he's got the score he's got.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I actually, so I get you. If we want to talk about games that you're a little I'm surprised. The second on the list comes in at 63. We Happy Few. I didn't beat that game, but I probably got about halfway through. I actually thought it was a pretty good game. The 63 seems a little harsh to me, but what? Yeah. I thought your Pal World coming in at 71. It goes to show you, right? The games that get all the buzz and the rage, it doesn't mean that their scores are going to be high or that reviewers are going to be all about them, but that doesn't mean they're bad either. Pal World was all the rage for a good long time. So
yep, and has made a slight return with the update that's coming. Yeah. The same with Starfield. I know it's not in here because it didn't come out that year, but Starfield's just about to get the vehicle update, and people are going nuts for that. Apparently, the vehicle update looks really, really good. So,
fun fact this year, the Game Pass game with the longest title, SpongeBob SquarePants Battle for Bikini Bottom Rehydrated. I need to hold on. I need to rehydrate after that. Give me 1 second. Okay, I'm better now. All right.
SquarePants Battle for that's a long title.
Yeah, I remember when I did because when we do the trailers for Game Pass drops, we do the title and then a dash and then official trailer, and I was unsure if I was going to be able to get the entire thing in there on the YouTube title description. It fit pretty easily. I think I still had about 20 characters left, but yeah. And then the shortest title is Kona, 4 letters. That's the shortest. You got 13 games in January so far, 16 in February, 14 in March, 22 in April, and 12 is the prediction, unless they give us some surprises for May. So this month has been the lightest month of the year.
Yeah. Just.
Also, Deep Rock Galactic looks pretty cool. I mean, everybody rated it as pretty cool, so I guess that's not really surprising. Came out on Xbox One May 13th, 2020. It's a cooperative first-person shooter. Gameplay primarily centers around missions that take place in fully destructible, procedurally generated cave systems. Each has varying terrain generations, hazards, and enemies depending on the selected biome and mission type. So I'm just looking at.
Sounds like it's right up your street.
Yeah, I'm looking at some. Now I feel like I got to download Deep Rock Galactic and Those Who Remain.
Oh dear, your dashboard's just grown for somebody that hasn't been able to play games recently.
I know. Like, all these games came out. Did I play any of them? No, but I played the 51 Those Who Remain. Ooh, no, I can't. I'm sorry, I can't. Those Who Remain is a first-person survival horror game. I'm out. Sorry. Sean, you gotta take this one. You gotta download this and play it.
Those Who Remains, is that not the one that's on the what's it called? On like the oil rig?
No, that's Stranded. Stranded? I think it's Stranded. No, deep son of a gun. Deep something. You're welcome, Sean. No.
All right, yeah, okay.
What is it called? I'm going to see if it's in the coming soon. Still Wakes the Deep.
Still Wakes, yeah, that's the one.
That's why it wasn't coming to my brain. I was trying to put deep first, and it wasn't working out.
That's what she said.
Sean. That's it. Go to bed.
Hey, look,
Go to your room.
Okay. Yeah. I think did I look at Those Who Remain and be like and skipped it because I didn't think it looked great.
Well, but now
I think I actually said one week. I think I said one week that I'll potentially give this a go, and then when I actually watched the video trailer on Game Pass, because I do that a lot. Like I'll flick through Game Pass games and I'll watch all the trailers and look at the screenshots. And I was like, maybe not.
That came out January 16th. Sean, I mean, you only got like 4 hours left of Hellblade 2. Then you might as well tackle Those Who Remain. At least you got to at least put an hour into it for me. That's all I'm asking. Just an hour.
Okay.
And you can tell me if you agree with Open Critics reviewers or not. That's what I need. That's what I need to know. If it wasn't a horror game, I would do it, but I'm not doing it. No. All right, there you go, folks. That's our fun little topic of look back for this year of Game Pass. We'll probably do it again in, I don't know, September, October, probably November or something like that.
77 titles so far this year.
Yeah.
Which, when you go back to 2021, when we were like in the weeds and talking about like our game a month, and now we're like, 5 months into the year and 77 games deep.
Mm-hmm. So. Yeah, 2-3 weeks at a time we'd go with like no drops.
Yeah. Wow, that was almost like the Wii U era for people that did Nintendo podcasts.
Mm-hmm. That is true. All right, folks, on to our dashboard. Welcome to the dashboard where we talk about games we have been playing or games we have on our docket to play. Sean, I'm going to let you go first.
So, I suddenly have a new game on my docket to play.
That's right, you do.
And that's going to be those who remain. That's once I have done the next 2/3 of Hellblade 2, and yeah, that's why Fallout 4 has become one of those things that I just dip in and out of now. I'm at like the 12-hour mark, and I've just kind of done a few bits in Good Neighbor and Diamond City. I'm on my way now down to the Glowing City, but if anybody that's played the game before knows that getting to the Glowing City requires you to have the like hazmat style armor, so you don't get absolutely irradiated and stuff like that, or a shit ton of Radaway and Radex, and I don't have any of those, so it's going to take some time to do.
So you've played the game. Do you know where to get the hazmat armor at?
Yes and no.
Okay, fair enough.
It's been a long time since I played the game, and I put a lot of hours into it. So, and doing that is quite early on. So,
just ask Copilot. She'll tell you.
Yeah. I've got the Brotherhood of Steel that are flying around. I've done that thing where I make more than one save, and then just launched fat mans at the birds that are flying past me and get absolutely obliterated because they come swarming in and just minigun you to bits. So
sounds like fun.
It is. That's it. It's been I worked Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. I took today to hammer out Hellblade. Tomorrow I would have been at work nights, but I booked it off because Logan's at home. He's got a teacher training day tomorrow before he has his week off. So we're going to throw trampoline in. And then I've got 4 nights to work. And it's frowned upon to take your Xbox into work. So I probably won't get too much Xbox.
Come on.
Unfortunately. I have almost finished Pokemon Fire Red, though, on the GBA emulator I have on my phone. So I'm down to the Elite Four. So
nice. Well, Sean, I haven't played anything. Literally nothing. I hate to just be honest, but that's the case. So
this is the thing is that you've got to a point where you were saying that if everything goes well, that hopefully it should quieten down a little.
Yeah, my calendar actually is empty for tomorrow, and I don't think I've had an empty day. I mean, there are a couple things I could do, but as for like meetings or anything, literally I have nothing on the calendar at the moment for tomorrow, which I don't think that's happened at all this May, to be honest. I mean, between my wife got in a car accident, we had to go car shopping, we had a fundraiser, there was a big open house. It's just been lots and lots of stuff, audits and all kinds of fun stuff. So anyways, but that's neither here nor adulting. So I haven't played anything. I would really like to get to Galacticare and Hauntai. Those are the 2 games I would like to play. And I'd like to finish another Crab's Treasure, though that's too much to ask. That's not going to happen. But I want to play Galacticare, especially just at least a little bit, so that I can talk about the UI. So if I can say, hey, you can play this game reasonably well on a console, or no, you can't. So because it's all that you'll know that real darn quick. And Hauntai, I don't know. There's something about it. I just want to try it out. It's just it piques my interest. And now, since I have tasked Sean with playing a little bit of Those Who Remain, I want to play the one game that Deep Rock Galactic. I promise to have played at least a little bit of that to see what it's like. It's the one game in the top 10 that I have no knowledge of whatsoever. So, there you go. That's that. Sean's tired. Anything else in life before? We have a question, don't we?
We do have a question from Tyler. He's known as AcidTKO. He's known as AcidTKO3 in the chat on Twitch and stuff like that. But if you're over on X, which is where this question came from, he is known as Tyler. His question for the show is, Will we be doing predictions for the Xbox showcase?
We should do predictions for the Xbox showcase, Sean.
Yeah, thanks for the reminder, Tyler. That is what we will do next week. It's going to have to be next week because the week after that it'll have been gone.
Well, no, we have 2 weeks. The 9th is on Sunday, so we do Tuesday on the 28th, and then we have the 6th. Unless we're not doing the 6th because we're doing a whole podcast meeting here on air, Sean. That's fantastic. This is like this is fantastic. Anyways, we will do a predictions episode, Tyler. Thank you for making the segment for us, because who knows if we would have actually remembered it. Probably on like the 6th, Sean would have been like, shit, Nick, we need to do a predictions episode. And we would have been like, yeah, you're right. And then that's how it happened. But thanks to good friend Tyler, now we know. And we will actually be prepared for it. So, yeah, we'll definitely do that.
He says his one prediction every year is that they will finally see the return of Banjo and Kazooie. So, I'd give that a really good shout for this year. Normally, I'd say, nah, it's not going to happen. But, stranger things have happened. And it could happen this year. He does have another part to this question. He says, what can Xbox do to turn the negative tide they have created? And I'm assuming that's with things like developer closures and stuff like that.
So first off, Tyler, I would love to see this come. I would love to see a legit Banjo-Kazooie 3D platforming game. That's fantastic. That's like they could do so much with it. I would love to see this. I don't think it's going to happen, but I would love to see it. But as Sean said, crazier things have happened. Like, 4 years ago, if you would have said, so what do you think is going to happen? Microsoft buys Activision Blizzard, or there's another Banjo-Kazooie? I would have been like, pretty sure there's going to be another Banjo-Kazooie. That seems like a pretty obvious, like, thank you. But, I would have been wrong. I would have bet the farm on that. And I would have been totally wrong. So, what can they do to turn the tide? Well, for me, they could release especially if they're upping the price of, and I know I'm a broken record for people, I understand it. If they're going to up the price of Game Pass, they could release the family plan. That would be a pretty easy win. I don't know if it's easy. On the books, it might not be easy, and I think that's the problem. I think the tests they did showed that they lost a lot of money, and so that's where it's not easy, is on the accounting side. But that would be a big win, I think, for a lot of people.
Yeah, I think the other thing they could do to turn the tide is during the showcase is announce a load of Activision games backlog wise that are going to come, and be like, look, we know Call of Duty is coming day one, November 11th, let's just say. But with that, and because of having, we want to, and they'll lie when they say this, it's not because they want to, ensure that they've got a, steady income to make better games. It's because they want to capitalize on the fact that a ton of people are then going to start paying for Game Pass because of Call of Duty coming day one. Which sounds really shitty, but that is the business. Like, if you put your business hat on, that is the reason why you're doing it.
Mm-hmm.
But if they turn around and say, yeah, your price is going to go up by $3 extra a month for this service, but we're also then going to drop, here's 25 Activision games, across the board, Tony Hawk's, Banjo and Kazooie, not Banjo and Kazooie because it's in my head, Crash Bandicoot, Crash Team Racing, and other big titles like that, Spyro and stuff like that. Here you go. Here's a load of, really cool games and stuff like that, and it's all there as of today for you to download and play, and kind of, smoke and mirrors with the price rise kind of thing.
So I'm doing some fun math here. Give me a second. This is actually...
while you're doing your fun math, I'm going to just turn around and say that because we've had the 77 games that have come with Game Pass this year, if you average those 77 games at $40 a game, I know some will be like indies that are $12, but we've had some games that are going to be $70 as well. That's a $3,465 drop of games, 77 games. Which, when if you average it for 5 months, you've paid $12.99, so $13. You have paid $70 for $3,500 worth of games.
Mm-hmm.
And ain't nobody can come out and fight me and say, oh, subscription services aren't worth it for games. Frickin' is.
All right, so your math made me think. When you said this made me think of something. This is kind of off the beaten path of what we were actually talking about. But you said 10 million people download, 10 million people don't buy Call of Duty because of Game Pass. That's probably a fair number. I wouldn't have bought Call of Duty either way. I will play it now, but I wouldn't have bought it previously. So 10 million times $70 is 700 million. That's the amount of money they're losing to put Call of Duty on Game Pass. But here's the interesting fact. Taking your numbers, which I think are pretty legit. So we're going off of we're getting the 10 million because the last we knew 30 million people were on Game Pass. Okay? That's the last number we know. We don't know if it's fluctuated. It could be 35. I don't know, might be close to 40. Who knows? But we're going to go with 30 because that's the last we knew. A little above 30 is what we actually knew, but we'll just stay with 30. So if you're right and they up Game Pass by $3, that means now they're going to get 90 million more a month.
Yep.
Correct math? Which means
including I'd say at least 5 million new subscribers just off the back of having Call of Duty day one.
Totally true.
People are going to go, wow, I could save $70 to not buy that game and spend $15 and still have 100 and more games to play.
But we're not going to include those, Sean, and I'm going to tell you why. If we include those, then we have to project how much that's going to be and up the amount of people who now wouldn't buy Call of Duty. It would be more than 10 million is my point. If we say we add 5 million more people to the total price, then we have to add 5 million off, and it's just so let's make it a wash. Let's keep it at 30 million, make it a wash, and we'll just do it that way. Which means for those people who are like, they can't do this. If they do this, they're going to lose their ass and they're not going to make any money and it's going to be awful and it's the end of their economy and it doesn't work and blah, blah, blah. Which means in 7.7 months, basically 8 months, they're out of the hole for the 10 million people that didn't buy the game and they're already in the red. Or they're already in the black. They're making money.
Yep.
It took them 8 months to prove y'all wrong. Is what I'm saying. Like if you do the math, which surprisingly Phil and friends have done, it does work. But the kicker is the part that is hard to swallow is a little bitter for me, especially. People like me who would not have bought Call of Duty are going to subsidize people like Sean who would have bought Call of Duty. And now won't. And that's just a fact. It's whether you love it or hate it, whatever, it's the fact. It's the fact. Now, there will be a time where somebody's going to subsidize me when I don't buy Fable because it's on Game Pass, but I would have somewhere else. So that's fine. I think it all equals out if you really think about it. But by doing the $3, and we're just rumoring, right? We don't know that they're going to raise it by $3. We have no idea. That's the rumor is that there's going to be changes to the tiers in Game Pass, and so we just threw out $3. But all you have to do then is say, okay, let's say it's $1.50 more. If it's $1.50 more, then what does it take? It takes 15 months for them to recoup their losses. The math is easy at that point.
And Xbox are patient with that. You got to think Game Pass has been here for a lot longer than we have as a podcast. It's been there kind of growing in the background. It's just been nurtured. And, Phil saw a potential start at the embers and every year he has blown life into Game Pass and grown it to where it is now. To the fact that he can sit down and make a $70 billion acquisition off the back of off the back of Game Pass being his business model.
Yeah.
He's done the maths for the longevity, and it's you've just proven it with that. Like $3, it's 90 million to increase it by $3 for the amount of people that are currently on Game Pass, rather than the 70 million that it would be to have the 10 million people that would go out and purchase the game day one just to play it. So it's a no-brainer. It takes some time to get things back, but as is all investments, you have to sit on it for a while and stick to your guns, and that's what Phil does. I mean, Microsoft have the fact that Phil still has the job he does tells me that Microsoft as a company and Xbox kind of look at Phil and go, "Oh crap, this guy's got fucking brains. He knows what he's doing."
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah. Hey, is that a podcast, man?
That is a podcast. Thank you very much, Tyler, for the question. That kind of spurred us into a weird little wormhole of maths and numbers and stuff, which, at 2 a.m. is a lot of fun. But yeah, that is a podcast. That is everything. If you want to get in touch with me or Nick, you can do on X, Sean _Abbott or Nick 10 DOH, Nick Tendo. Please go and use the Discord link and join us in the Discord chat. If you have ever been a fan of us when we were Game Pass News and we sat in the Nintendo Dads Discord, you know that if you reach out to me and Nick, we will always answer your questions. It's it's our regularly used thing. It's what me and Nick talk through every day. So we're always active, as well as all the other GPT guys and the 2,000 people that are already in there now chatting back and forth about games that they're playing and stuff like that. So go and do that. If you want to give us an email and you're a little bit more old school, you can do that show@gamepasstracker.com. Next week, our show will be Tuesday next week. Yes, because today is now Thursday. So yeah, Tuesday next week's our next live show. We'll hopefully have more news for you. We'll potentially play the games that we wish we simply would have played and found some time to do it. But thank you very much for listening. And until next time, we shall see you guys later.
See you later, guys.